Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today we get to experience the miracle of life. Isn't that wonderful? And that clearly, obviously, it's the name of this puzzle by jreg. And as you can see, it's not your typical 9x9 Sudoku. First off, it's a 7x7, but it's also an irregular Sudoku, meaning it doesn't have regular cages or regular regions. So let's get into our rule set, and then this will all be explained. So we've got irregular Sudoku rules. Place the digits 1 through 7 once in every row, column, and region. So, like normal Sudoku, rows and columns still cannot repeat, but in the irregular Sudoku rules, the region comes into play differently because we don't have, like I said, a 3x3. So in this region, which is highlighted by these dark outlines, they create our regions. You cannot repeat a digit in any of those. None of these can repeat, etc., etc. Now we have cells separated by a chess knight's move cannot contain the same digit. And if you know how chess knights work in chess knights are in chess, yes, they move in an L shape, essentially. So this digit, all of these here would be a chess knight's move away from this said cell. Let's call it X. So if this is X, none of these other cells can also be X. Now, we also have cells sharing an edge, cannot contain consecutive digits. So that would just mean that, let's say this is a 1, none of these digits could be a 2 because 2 is consecutive with 1, and they share an edge orthogonally. Then our final rule is digits on an arrow sum to the digit in the attached circle. And since we only have one arrow, what that means is these 4 digits, whatever they may be, all added together must equal whatever this is in the circle. And those are our rules to the miracle of life. So let's get started. Let's get a little bit of caffeine first. And let's get started on this one. And hopefully we can figure out the miracle of life. Now, where's a good place to start? Well, there only appears to be one real clue that we can do anything with at the moment, which is our arrows, or arrow, I should say, singular. So what can we determine about this arrow? Well, it's a 4-digit arrow. And we can, like I said, it's an irregular 1 to 7 Sudoku, so we can only go up to 7. So what are the bare minimums we could put into these digits? Maybe we'll just start marking those off for now. Now, this could be 1. This one could also be 1 because, well, it's on the same arrow, but it's not in the same region. This is a separate region from this one, and it's not orthogonally connected. So this could be 1. If this is 1, and this is just an example, I guess, of possible minimum, if this is a 1, since this region does this one can't also be a 1, so the bare minimum it could technically be in this instance would be a 2. And now this one, because it shares an edge with this digit, it cannot be consecutive with 1. So in this specific instance, this would, at the bare minimum, would be a 3. Now, that does equal 7, which is the maximum this could possibly be, but that doesn't necessarily mean that these are correct. So what can we figure out? Now, could this digit ever be a 2? Because if it's a 2, this digit cannot be a 1, a 2, or a 3, because it sees it on a border, so it can't be consecutive, and it sees it in its column. So if this was a 2, let's say, this would be a 4. If that was a 4 and a 2, we'd have 6 already, and then we'd have 2 more digits that have to equal 1 as they're added together, so that cannot ever happen. So I don't think that can ever be a 2. Now, could this ever be a 3? And I think the answer is going to be yes, it could, because if this is 3, this can't be 2, 3, or 4. Clearly, it can't be 5, because that would push us off the board. But you could put a 1 in here. And we have a 1, 3. We're only at 4 right now, so we still have 2 digits that cannot repeat. That could equal to 3 to equal 7. Now, can we take it any further is a question. Like if this was a 4, I think that would break because this would have to be a 1 to make 5, and these would both have to be 1s. So I don't think we can go any higher with either of these two. Because this one can't be a 2, because this would force this to be a 4, the same way that if this was a 2, it forced this to be a 4. This 3 1 said work. If this was a 4, this could be a 1 again, but we've got 5, and these would both have to be 1s, which they can't be because they see each other. So I think 1, 3 is our maximum for these two digits. Can we do anything elsewise for these two? Now, the bare minimum these two combined can be is 1 and 2, which would equal 3. And we know we already have a maximum of 4, or a minimum of 4 here. So 4 plus 3 would equal 7. So I believe these do have to be a 1-2 pair, which would mean this just has to be 7. Now, that seems like it works in terms of the logistics of these digits, because these two see each other and these two see themselves. The bare minimum here is always going to be 3, and because we also have the consecutive constraint, the bare minimum here is always going to be at least 4. So yes, that looks like it works. So we've got a 1-2. We've got a 1-2 pair now in this column, and we've got a 1-3 pair in this column. Now, can we... Now, I haven't used our chess knight move yet. Is that going to come into play? I don't think it necessarily does, because if this is a... This one sees this one by knight's move, and this one sees this one by knight's move. But these two are in the same region, so they're going to see each other no matter what they do. These two are not in the same region, but I don't feel like they interact with these enough to do much. So maybe we need to kind of move along. So where can a 3 go in this column? Well, it can't go here, because if it went here, this would have to be a 1 because there's a 3 in the region, and this would have to be a 1 because there's a 3 in the row. Can the same be said for this one? I don't think it can, because this could be a 3 and this could be a 3. That would force this to be 1, 2, 1, and that would all work out. Now down here, we also can't remove a 3 from the equation, because if this was a 3, that would be a 1 and a 3. Okay. How about... Can we do anything with these other regions where we remove the possibility of a 1 and a 3, let's say? Because these two digits both see these, so these cannot have 1 or 3 in them. But that's about as far as it goes. Now, I guess we can all say this can't be a 1, because it sees this one and this one. This can't be a 1, because it sees this one by knight's move and this one by the region. And actually, this one can't be a 1 either, because it sees this one by knight's move and it sees this in the region. So one of these two has to be a 1. But it's not necessarily determined which of the two it is. Now, can we do anything similar, let's say with the 1s in another region? So like we know this can't be a 1 in this region because it would rule out both of these. This one isn't just because it's a 7. This one can't be a 1 because it sees both of these. Now, could this one be a 1? It would see both of these digits, so we'd have to have a 2 and a 3. And these would be 1 and 1 here. That seems like it works. And I don't think I can remove these other ones here from being ones either. Now we know this one can't be a 1 because it sees both of these. Can this one ever be a 1? It would see this one and this one. So these would be 2 and 3. And these would then both have to be 1, but this doesn't see either one, so that's fine. So I don't think we can rule that one out. These two can't be 1s. This one can't be a 1 because of the 1-3 pair here and the 1-2 pair here. This one can't be 1 because these see that one. So one of these two has to be a 1. Okay. It's sort of getting somewhere. Now, can we continue the trend of 1s, what they can and can't be, in another region? Let's keep looking at it because it seems to be the only in I have at the moment. Now, this one can't be, these two can't be 1s because they see our 1s in our rows. This can't be a 1 because it sees this one by Sudoku and this one by Knight's Move. This one can't be a 1 because Sudoku and Knight's Move. This one can't be a 1 because it sees this one by Sudoku and this one by Knight's Move. Or is that correct? Because these would be 2 and 3. And these would both be 1. No, that would still work, so I can't rule that one out, can I? I was hoping that would have done something. Because it looked like we're almost there on this region in terms of which ones can and cannot be 1s. Now, oh, I think I can go even. I can just make some 1s. I missed a rule up here that I'm just going to get into. So if this was a 1, that negates this from being anything, because it has to be either 1 or 2. This is 1, this clearly can't be 1 because it's in the same region and it sees itself in its row. But if it's 1, this one also can't be a consecutive 2. So this can't be 1. So that forces this to be 1. And therefore, this is 2. And that 1 sees this. So this is 3 and 1. And now this has to be 1 because of our previous determinations of what can and cannot be 1s. We can look at it again. This can't be 1 because it sees that one. This can't be 1 because it sees that one. These can't be 1 because they see these. So this is the only one's left over, and that's a 1. Okay, now none of these are 1s. That's not a 1. So one of these two is a 1. Those can't be 1s now when we're looking at this region. These ones see this one. These 3 see all of these, so one of these has to be a 1. Can we go into this region over here now? This can't be, this can't be, this can't be, this can't be, this can't be. So one of these two is, and I think we can get the 1 up in here now. So we know none of these can be. These 3 can't be clearly because of these ones. This one here sees this one, so this has to be 1. And that's going to give us this one, and it's going to give us this one, and it's going to give us this one. So all of these are now done. Now, is that all of the 1s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is. Okay. That worked out pretty well. Now, can we move on to maybe our 2s? Let's look at the 2s in this region, maybe. So that can't be a 2, obviously. These can't be 2s because of Knight's moves. This can't be a 2, and clearly that can't be a 2. So one of these is. What about over in this region? No, 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 no. But I can't rule out either of those, so that doesn't look very helpful. Now over here, we know that these 3 can't be because of this one, and Knight's moves and Sudoku, but then any of these 3 could be. But I know there has to be a 2 in one of these here, because this one and this one can't be 2 because they see this. So one of these is a 2, so that rules out all of those and all of these. So this one here is the only one left that could be a 2. All right, next in line. You know, there's no 2s in any of these. That's not too helpful. Oh, here we go. In this region now, we can determine our 2, because none of these can be 2s, and none of those can be 2s, so that is a 2. Can we go further? None of these can be 2s. So one of these 3 has to, I'm going to mark that for now. I normally wouldn't, but I will. There's really nothing I can do out here just yet. I can't rule this one out because it sees these 2, but it doesn't see that one. And this one doesn't see any of them. So what about I think this is the last region that we haven't really looked at. So none of these can be 2s. Now this can't be a 2 because it sees all of these. Can this be a 2? It absolutely can. It would rule out these and this, and these 2 would be their own thing. This can't be a 2 because it sees both of these. But that leaves these 2 as possible 2s, which just doesn't work very well. So maybe the 3 we can do something with? Let's take a look at it, I guess. None of these can be 3s. That can't be, that can't be, that can't be. One of these 2 could be. Let's get all of these out of the way for now. As to what can be a 3. That seems to be all of them that can be ruled out. Now, do we see anything that's problematic? Well, this one here can't be a 3 because it would see all of these in this region and it would see this one, so there'd be no 3 in this region. Is there something similar I can do on these other ones? I don't necessarily see one. Now, I do know that in this column, one of these 2 has to be a 3, and in this column, one of these 2 has to be a 3. But I'm not getting a ton left over there. Yeah. Okay. So if I missed something maybe that could have given me some more of these 2s, or maybe even the 7 has some use, because the 7 sees a few things, but not a ton, really. Sometimes it's hard to see some of the regions when I do selection, so it makes it a little bit harder to see. No, I'm hitting a little bit of a snag here all of a sudden. Oh, maybe it is this here, and maybe because I wasn't looking at it in terms of rows and columns, I was just looking at it in regions. Maybe we can determine. No, because not necessarily, because I said any of these up here could be a 2. Let's look at it again, just to make sure, because I feel like I am missing something. This one is in this region. That's in that region. No, 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 and none of these, we said, and none of those, we said. So we've got... Oh, I'm being stupid again. I keep forgetting rules. And again, you're probably looking at me like, what is this guy doing? He's an idiot. This can't be a 2 because it's consecutive with 1. So yes, I did miss an obvious thing, and I'm going to now fix that. So the only place that 2 can go in this region is here, which means this is the only place that 2 can go in that region, which means we can get rid of that, and that. So this has to be a 2. making it harder than it needs to be. That seems to be how I do things. And it looks like we're getting a pattern forming here, and it probably will work out because of the knight's moves. But we're left here with a 2 up here. So now, let's look at our 3s and stop forgetting particular rules. Where can a 3 go? And it's not going to be able to be next to any 2s. So that leaves, this is the only place a 3 can go in this region. And what about in this region? We said none of these could be. We could still have one of those. In this region, we can't have any of these be, so this has to be 3. And yeah, it's looking like our pattern is starting to form even quicker now. So going back to this region, no, 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 no. So yes, this is 3. None of these can be 3, and that can't be a 3 from knight's move, so this is 3. And in this column, we've already got a 3 in our region here, and that can't be a 3 by knight's move, so yes, we do have a 3 there. I think we're missing 1 3 in this region, and boom, boom, so it's got to be this one. So that's all the 3s, okay. And we get our deet, deet, doot in the corner. Now we can probably work out 4s, because we can't put a 4 next to any of the 3s, so one of these would have to be a 4. How about in here? We don't actually have any 4s yet, so this one might be a little bit more temperamental. But none of these can be 4s. Ooh, not that one. None of these can be 4s. So what's left over? We know one of these has to be a 4. We know one of these has to be a 4. So let's put that in. In this box, one of these, it's not really great. In this box, there's a few places it can go. Same with here, same with here. Maybe I need to skip to my 7s because those are, it's the only one I actually have a digit, because I'm not seeing particularly where a 4 is being limited, but I also don't necessarily see where a 7 is going to be limited. But let's take a look. So we know, well, these can't be 7, so one of these has to be 7. Again, not great. This can't be a 7, so one of these has to be a 7. So we've got 4s and 7s now going in a couple places. Is there anywhere else we can rule out 7s? Can't go in any of these, but that still leaves 2 of them here, which I don't like. That leaves a bunch of them here. No, it's not too great, so I'm something else that I need to look at. I want to go back to my 4s because I feel like that was the most obvious place to be looking. So we know one of these is a 4. We know this can't be a 4 because it sees both of those. Now, can we do anything similar with any of these other areas? Well, this can't be a 4 because it would see both of those, so one of these has to be a 4. And there's nothing ruling them out from that with adjacencies and consecutive digits. Now, yeah, that didn't rule out a 4 in one of these other places, which I'd hoped it would. sevens would, I mean, sixes would be too much of a pain to work through as well, because the only thing right now we can rule out is 6 from these, but one of these would be a 6. And we can't necessarily rule this one out because the 6 could go right here. We could have just the 6s follow this pattern like that. Okay. All right, so we've got to figure out this 4 somehow. What am I missing? Let me just make another quick look, make sure I didn't forget about a consecutive issue. Doesn't appear like I did. It could be that there's a connection when you look at multiple 4s. So we know there has to be a 4 in one of these, there has to be a 4 in one of these two. If this was a 4, it would force this to be a 4. Which would force a 4 down here. Which would do what? It would remove this from being a 4. It would remove this from being a 4. But we'd still have possibilities here. We couldn't have these be 4s. But this or this could be a 4. No, that doesn't seem to really give me much, does it? Huh. Why am I not seeing this? This shouldn't be this difficult, I don't believe. Okay, just make sure I got all of my 1s, 2s, and 3s and I didn't miss something. Yeah, all the 1s, 2s, and 3s are done and good to go. I mean, one of these has to be a 4. Can I rule out any of these as being a 4? Maybe I have to think more on terms of when looking at these, like maybe where could a 5 go? Because we know the 5 can't be in either one of these, so it has to go here. So that's something. We know it can't now go in any of these, so it has to go here. Okay, that might have been the break-in. Now it can't go in any of those, so it's here. And we're gonna have, we're gonna have our 5 cascade down. So 5 is ruled out from all of these, so it has to go here. It's ruled out from there, there, and there, so it has to go here. All of these are ruled out, so it has to go here, and then it's gonna have to go here. Okay, so the 5s are done. Yes. Now, can we determine, we can determine our 6s and 7s and our 4s, because we can never have 6s and 7s next to each other, so therefore the 4 must intervene in both of these rows, or regions is what I meant to say. And that's going to give us our 4 here and tell us our 4 here. So that was what it required. I just had to think a little bit differently than what I was doing previously. So we're done with 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we done with, we're not done with 4s. Let's get back into our 4s. So none of these can be 4, so this has to be 4. This has to be a 4 up here, and this is going to have to be a 4 here. Now we've got all of our 6s and 7s, and we've got 6 up here as a given. So therefore this is 6, and that's going to just unravel everything. This has to be 7, so this has to be 6 and 7 and 6. And now 6 has to go down here with a 7. This has to be 7. This is going to be 6 and 7. So there we go. Yep, you solved the puzzle. So once I stopped faffing about, it wasn't too bad. I was a little bit stuck on our trying to do the 4s and trying to figure out the how that would work when the 5 ended up being the key once I got to that stage. So hopefully you guys figured that out a little bit quicker than I did, but it took me a moment. no big deal. But that was The Miracle of Life by jreg, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.